Let's talk about hop-up adjustment, because that one is one of the most important things when it comes to airsoft and replicas, because it not only doubles but probably quadruples the range, and it also makes your rifle very accurate. That's why we are dedicating a full video to this topic. Now, we will be showing this with the SSR4 Mark II, but this is pretty much universal for any replica. If there is a difference in the direction, we will show you with overlay, so don't worry, everything will be exactly the same for you as well. Before we get to it though, what is hop-up? We want to make sure that you understand what's going on, because like I said, it is very important. If you are interested in the physics of how this works, how can we make an object to go up against the gravity, just Google the Magnus effect and that will explain everything around that. The simple version of this is that as the BB is traveling through the barrel, there is actually a silicone or a rubber nut that pushes on it, and it will give it a backspin. So the BB is spinning backwards as it's flying towards its target. And thanks to this Magnus effect, what it does is it doesn't just drop down, it actually flies a little bit up and then it starts dropping, and that very much increases the range, and that's why this is important. Now, you might be wondering that I don't have a scope. How am I adjusting hop-up without any red dot or any sighting solution? This is actually a preferable way to first adjust the hop-up when you get the rifle. If I would have a scope on it right now, it could happen that the scope is just not adjusted properly, and I would be adjusting the hop-up to the settings of the scope. That's not what we want. We want to make this shoot as far and as accurate as we possibly can without any limitation from scope and so on. If you are an experienced player and you know what you're doing, go ahead, put a scope on and adjust it afterwards. But if you've never done this before, just take the scope off or just don't put it there in the first place and adjust the hop-up first. Now, I am in the studio. I'm not gonna be shooting here, I don't have the range, but we made overlays in which we show you all the three different versions. That is, when the BB is completely dropping down, then when the BB is just going all the way to the sky and you cannot see it even, and then the perfect adjustment that is literally straight, slightly up and down. The exact settings is your personal preference. But what I can tell you from experience is that don't go for a lot of increase, like a lot of up and then down to maximize the range. Yes, it will give you a little bit more range, but what will happen in the field is that when somebody's prone on or behind a barricade, you will actually not be able to hit him because the BB will constantly live above his head, and if you aim too low, you will actually hit the ground first. So you have a choice of between hitting the ground or going above the target. That's not what you want. So be moderate, don't go overboard, just nice trajectory. Enough talking, that's been enough. Let's get to the adjustment. Now, on the SSR4 Mark II specifically, you will pull back the charging handle and that will reveal the hop-up adjustment window. If you have a different replica, we will show you in overlays how to access the hop-up adjustment. For the purpose of this video, we will turn it all the way down to 0 hop-up. So we will basically turn in this direction until we can no longer turn anything. This will give us a baseline and we will start there. Now what you need to do is to plug in the battery, put a magazine with BBs in, make sure you are using the correct weight, which is listed on the NOVRITSCH website. That will give you good performance. And you need enough range to see the BB. The best background for this is dark background because the BBs are white and that will allow you to see it. So choose some dark background, maybe deep in the forest there is like a really dim spot. That's the best way to aim for. Here I'm in the studio, I will not be shooting, but let's get through it with some editing magic. And to have it complete, don't forget your safety glasses because we are shooting, so we will not omit safety because that one is also important. All right, we have the hop-up all the way down, we have BBs in the magazine plugged in, we have safe range. We know that there is nobody there, we can start shooting. Now, if we start shooting, you will see something like this. The BBs are just going down, there is no usable range, nothing. That's not what we want. So let's go back to our Hopup and we will turn it, for the purpose of this video, all the way up. This is just for you to know what happens in the other less than ideal scenario. We are doing this only for the purpose of this video to show you. You please don't do it, because if you put way too much pressure on the BB, it can happen that the BB will get stuck and it will not go through, and that could potentially cause issues. So only for your information. Now it's all the way up, and if we shoot, we will see something like this. The BB just goes all the way up and it's not usable. It will just always fly to the sky. Also not what you want. So the correct settings is somewhere in the middle. I cannot tell you exactly what number or what position of the wheel is the correct one. You will have to try anything in between these two ranges. So just go somewhere in the middle and try it. Let's assume we tried it a couple of times. After you are done with the adjustment, you should see something like this. You are shooting, the BB lifts slightly up and then it falls. Something like this, what you see in the overlay, is the perfect trajectory you should strive for. Remember what I said at the beginning? In an actual game, you rarely engage at the very maximum distance. Go for something moderate, that it doesn't lift too much and flies over the target every single time. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you in the next one.